Disney has warned its investors that the company's products and political views may not align with what viewers want and risk harming its bottom line. In a public financial filing for the fiscal quarter ending in September, the corporation acknowledged the risks it is taking relating to misalignment with public and consumer tastes and preferences for entertainment. That's amazing. Disney has struggled as of late to successfully pitch its costly films to audiences, losing a reported $1 billion on its last 4 high-profile releases. And I don't know if I actually have, yes, I do have it pulled up, of course. Disney's Wish over Thanksgiving weekend was another major box office bomb. And I think everybody knows that movie's basically communist, right? Is that the general idea? Are you familiar with it, Jeremy?
Yeah. Basically, if there really was a God and if he was any good, he'd give us all everything we want.
Yeah, but only in this movie, it's a white man who has the power to grant everything you want and refuses. And
God, he's a white dude.
He's a white dude. All right.
Yeah.
It's a documentary.
Yeah. That's what it is.
It's a documentary.
Yeah. So the big news here is they pushed back Snow White, which shows not only are they admitting to their investors what we are doing is failing, they're taking corrective measures.
Well, obviously, the entire sort of Team Reality right marshaled a lot of strength against, well, first with Bud Light, which I think is the greatest boycott that we've ever seen in the history of the right. I mean, we've never been very good at that sort of taking economic action, punitive economic action against anyone. And after Dylan Mulvaney, they laid the Bud Light low. But now with Disney, you saw the entire right wing really come out against them. And Daily Wire, I'm proud to say we took direct action. And on the 100th anniversary of Disney, back on October 16th, we announced the launch of our kids platform, Bent Key, which is, of all the things we've ever built, this thing I'm the most proud of. We've got 18 series on there, 4 of them original, 2 of those, Chip Chilla, our first animated series, and A Wonderful Day with Mabel McClay, I think are both genuinely wonderful shows. I'm very proud to have played a role in bringing them to life. But we also announced that we were going to make our own live-action adaptation of the Grimm's fairy tale, Snow White. And we were doing that in particular because Rachel Ziegler had been, the Disney's new Snow White, had been so outspokenly against Snow White, the film that made Disney into the powerhouse that it is, the 1937 animated film. And she said things like, we're not going to make a movie like that. That movie had all kinds of problems. We're not going to make a movie where the prince saves the princess or any of this stuff. What's beautiful about that, well, what's awful about it, obviously, is that she's saying that the actual company for whom she works, a company with the most brand loyalty of any company maybe in all of history, is somehow poorly founded, somehow had bad values, and she's far, far better of a person than Walt Disney was. But what's beautiful now is, if you look at what Disney's going to do with the film, you said it, almost less than 2 weeks later, they completely changed course on their adaptation. They are now going to make a more faithful adaptation, and Rachel Ziegler has to actually be in the movie that she hates.
Yes. I'm just imagining this when you're talking about this, you're making the Snow White. I'm imagining that you're driving this little buggy behind these semis that are gold is pouring off the back, and you're just picking it up, and you're like, well, whatever, I might as well take this. Oh, they threw that out. I'll take this one too. If they want to abandon their most valuable IP and the things that made them valuable, I see in so many ways with like Jeremy's razors, for instance, and Jeremy's chocolate. You're like, well, if you don't want it, I guess I'll take it.
Yeah.
And now here's the Daily Wire exploding in popularity because they're just giving away this value, abandoning it.
I mean, I'm just a lowly shampoo mogul, but I came by it honest. If they don't want the business, to your point, we're going to make the business. And someone asked me, what will you do if Disney manages to course correct here? First of all, I don't think they can. I don't think that Disney, I think they know that something is amiss. I don't think that they can identify the difference between the parts of their views that are so radical that the public is rejecting them and the parts of their views that aren't. Because they live in a bubble within a bubble within a bubble within a bubble. People who've worked for Disney have told us, Disney has basically fired everyone over the last 5 to 7 years who didn't toe that party line. There's no one left over there who would know how to do this if they were paid to.